This is my room. On my wall here, I got pictures of trains. There's another picture of trains here. All these hats here are my hats.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, Union Pacific. my uncle gave them to me when he worked on the railroad. Many years ago when he worked on the railroad, he was a car inspector, and he gave me all railroad hats. And here's my hat, says Lakemary right here.
Right.
I had this CD player quite a few years back, and
What's your favorite thing to listen to?
Kenny Rogers and Dottie West.
Nice. Or do you want to head over to the other building?
Sure, let's go.
Let's go.
You know, Richard has been here since he was a very little boy. And we have some pictures of him when he's just tiny, so tall, and he's here now. And I think it's a representation of how there are folks at Lakemary that we've taken care of for a lifetime. You know, that's just cool. I don't think everybody knows that we have some folks at Lakemary that we've taken care of for 50 years. I mean, Lakemary's going to be 50 years old this year, and he's been here, I think, pretty much that whole time. Yeah, we recently lost Bill Erickson, and he had been here that whole time too, and it was just like a piece of us was gone. But we think about him all the time, and yeah. So I mean, that's how I feel about Richard, Rick.
You just follow me.
How was work today?
Oh man, it was fun.
It was fun?
Woo!
Where do you work at?
Trico. I've been there quite a few years. I started in 1977.
Is that like 42 years?
Yep.
The first time I met Rick was in the spring of 1983 when he moved into one of our first group homes. It was an amazing day because Ricky's such a wonderful person that you're fascinated from the very moment that you meet him with how excited he is about life in general.
He, every day, like clockwork, would come around to say hi to everybody that was in the main office, and that's probably the first time I met him was one of those rounds, and I was a new face to him, so he had to stop and talk to me.
I had the unique opportunity to be Rick's pastor before I was his case manager. One of the things that we really appreciate about Rick is when he would come to church, he always had a big smile on his face, always had a handshake and probably a hug.
I came to school here when I was a little boy. When Lakemary first opened up, and I went to different classes here.
In the spring of 1984, Rick came to me and he said, "Hey Kirk, do you think we could have a picnic for our families this spring?" And I said, "Well, sure, I don't know why not, Rick." And so we organized our first family picnic where all the parents would come to Paola and we'd cook out and just have a nice picnic. Well, Ricky came to me the day of the picnic and asked if he could say grace. And I said, "Absolutely, Ricky, I'd love to have you say the prayer before we eat." And Ricky said the prayer, and we were all extremely moved by that. And he has said that prayer at that picnic now for 35 years in a row. But he starts that prayer by saying, "Will everyone please bow their heads?" And we have to fight back the tears in that very moment.
Hey, good. I'm just doing an interview.
Well,
There's my friend Paul.
Richard, how are you?
he brings a lot to our KSO cheerleaders. He is a leader for them. He knows every cheer that we do, and unfortunately we've had to have a new coach for the last 2 or 3 years in a row, and he just shows them, all the cheers and goes over all that for them. So
This is Karen Kilburn.
Right.
She's my buddy. But there's my friend.
How you doing? It's your big day today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about you.
Sometimes I'm busy and I kind of hear him coming down the hall and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't have time, but I always make the time for him. And after he leaves, I'm just always in a better mood. I've got a smile on my face and he just makes me feel good. And we talk about, his favorite things. Sometimes we listen to Kenny Rogers. He just feels like a family member as well. He's always asking me about my family. He met my sister and my late mom at a fundraising event, and after that, it was like 3 years ago, he always asks about them. After my mom died, he asked me how she was doing, and so of course I had to tell him that she had passed away. And every time he'd see me after that for several months, he'd always ask, how are you doing? Are you missing your mom? And just it was really tender. I wasn't expecting to get compassion and comfort from the people that we take care of here, because we're usually giving that to them, but they give it back to us too.
I ask them about their families and see how they're doing and see what they've been up to. And I like being a friend here at Lakemary, because Lakemary's been nice to me a lot.
Spending time with Rick, he often wanted to read the Bible. And even since I've become his case manager, which was kind of a unique turn of events, I found that Rick would often, when we would spend time together, first thing, he'd still want to read the Bible to me. Secondly, and I find this very, very endearing to me, because he was a part of our church family. He knew some of my family, knew my wife very well. And so when we would see Rick, or when I'd see him even now, he doesn't leave a conversation with asking about how my family is, which I think is very impressive. A lot of us could learn that attribute from him.
When I think of Ricky Obermeyer, the word that comes to mind is joy. He brings so much joy to me and to so many people. I don't know that I've ever known someone that is so genuine, so full of life, and so willing to share that joy with everyone around him on a daily basis. It's amazing.
And he's so happy all the time. I mean, if you've seen him lead the cheers and get all excited when he's leading the crowd, it's pretty cool.
He's very open, very outgoing, and he can go talk to anyone. And so when we go on our KSO trips and we go to the dance after the events, he can go talk to anybody, and within 5 minutes, he'll have them out on the dance floor with them. Always happy, just always a smile on his face, easygoing, loves to talk to people. He loves people.
And he doesn't ask like some people do, just off the cuff and not really wait for an answer. He really wants to know. And so, I don't know, he's one of those guys that gets to your heart, and you always look forward to seeing him. So.
Ricky has been one of the most amazing people I have ever known, and all of us at Lakemary have been blessed to have been able to share this journey with him.
Ooh, Richard, it is cold, buddy.
Yeah. Whoa.
You've been here the whole time. You've been here the whole time, like Lakemary.
Yeah. Whoa.
You know a lot of people, Richard.
I know. Whoa. This place means so much to me because I like it here, and love all my friends here and just thinking about them every day. And it is nice to be here, and it is a fun place. We had a gala last year at Arrowhead Stadium, and we saw the Chiefs cheerleaders and Casey Wolf.
Right. That was a fun time, wasn't it, Richard?
And he was singing at Arrowhead Stadium.
Don't tell me about that.
Oh.
That's awesome. Ready to head back, buddy?
Yeah.